welcome back to
We're back,
Appodlachia. We're back. I'm sorry for the delay. We were off last week. And I'll just say, thank you all for being patient. My life has been insane the past couple weeks. I was in Canada for a wedding, and then I moved. And I didn't know that I was moving until midway through that trip to Canada. So that was pretty wild. But we're here. And
we've all moved surprisingly once or twice.
Yeah, surprise, pack your shit. It happens. Now we're back. I've got my own place now. Not my own. Kristen's still here. It's not like we got a divorce. Just to make it clear to the fans.
I love it. I love just being open book, you know? Make sure they know, dude. Make sure they know.
My marriage is great.
Fan.
She's in San Diego right now, though, so she's doing having much better time than me.
Better. Yeah.
Anyway, we got a great show today. I think we need to start with a shout out, though, John. Do you want to take the lead on this?
Yes, this is. I'm not joking, Chuck. I read a lot, but it's never for fun. It's always just for work, and we got a fun read in our email in our inbox here recently from hold on, sorry, I need to readjust. Dr. Cecilia A. Salamone, and I hope I'm saying that right, and if I'm not, please tell me, and I will come on this podcast and I will do the correct pronunciation because it is deserved. Not even deserved, it has been earned. So anyway, we got this, we got an email. We're not going to go into it too much because we're not trying to give away somebody's paper, but we got this email and we had been interviewed in, what was that? Like late 2022?
Something like that. Yeah, I think so.
And so it was after I had left and we got interviewed for these things by Cecilia, and we didn't think much of it. Right. I mean, I didn't.
No, I just, obviously it was cool, but I kind of put it in the back of my head after that and went on with my day.
And I think I just kind of, I don't know. I don't think I'm smart enough to do what she did. So I took it as like a class project because that's
I'm definitely not smart enough to do what she did.
That's what my brain went to. But anyway, we got this as an email. It's a dissertation by Cecilia. It's called No Elegy Needed, Representations of the Appalachian Region in Appodlachia, published at Penn State University. Insane that this has happened.
I, first of all, honored, humbled, shocked.
Very.
I told, we were talking about this offline. I was like, I don't even think I could write a dissertation about our show. And we made it and have been here for it. So
I couldn't write 10 pages on it. Like there's no way. Especially she's obviously written a lot. I mean, I'm not trying to give anything away or do anything like that. But I read the whole thing from cover to cover, and it's a long read. It is a read. I have never read that much about something like either myself or that I'm affiliated with. And I definitely have never put that much thought into this show, but looking at like the research and the breakdown and the thought process was incredible. And it is something that Chuck and I talked about. Maybe I'll get this like bound one day, leather bound, have it beautifully up there. When people come over, I can be like, look, I'm not going to let you read it, but what I am going to say is that helped someone become a doctor. and the more, I shouldn't say more, but just as impressive, Cecilia then defended her dissertation and became a doctor and is now a professor at West Liberty University.
What little role we could play.
I know.
Proud of it.
That's crazy. It's just so nuts, dude.
And it's just, I don't know, it's just wild to me. I so much respect and gratitude to Dr. Cecilia Salamone, and we're grateful for it. I hope that she's able to share it at some point so y'all can read it. I think certified banger, truthfully, in my opinion. I read it
Oh,
too. Pretty much certified banger out of the box, out of the gate, baby.
it was a cover to cover read. As soon as I picked it up, I had to read it. And like I said, there is so much stuff in there that I have never thought about that now as Chuck and I talked off air about it, I can't get it out of my head. I'm now trying to like take these ideas and be like, yeah, or her thoughts and compose them to, kind of relate them to not just our current thoughts, but like how we started the show and all of those things. It's just it's a crazy trip through memory lane from somebody else's perspective, which is honestly like the coolest thing that's ever happened because I've never had that experience.
It is just really cool to look back on. Yeah, it is. It is definitely a trip down memory lane, and it reminds you of some of our roots, where we came from, and you know what, where we hope to go. And
True.
I think we're gonna keep doing that 100%.
It's just nuts.
It
Crazy.
is.
Thank you. Yeah, that was very, very cool, very humbling. Thank you for sending it to us, Cecilia, and I will cherish it forever.
Hell yeah, me too. So to get started, we got a bit of I guess I'll call it a news roundup for this episode. We don't have an interview today, but there's been some wild shit happening in the region that we just have to talk about. And first, though, I thought we could start out with something fun here. We
Okay.
like to poll the audience, so to speak.
Love
And
it.
while this isn't exclusively Appalachian, it is exclusively hilarious. I posted on a couple of different platforms what some people's favorite sayings are. And
Okay.
I want to get your reaction to some of these and see if you've heard of some of them. Like maybe your papaw said this sometime, or maybe they're completely novel. So
All
I
right.
would love your take.
All right.
This is from Mrs. Zumwalt on Twitter. Hello, damn Aunt Lucy. Take your old hog's head. I don't want it. I don't know. I don't know what
Did
that's
this
in
okay?
reference to.
Question: Did these people provide translations?
That was the translation.
Oh my
Oh, I
Lanta.
see what you're saying. Kind of, but not really. Most of the time, if they provided anything, it was context.
Got it. Yeah, because there's not any context here. And now I just want to know: was it just an old hog's head? Like, was that actually present?
It very much could be. I don't believe that this one had any context to it. Oh, wait, no, sorry. I'm so sorry. It does. This
Okay.
was what her granny said anytime she thought the price of something was too high.
Oh.
My bad. Important context left out.
Oh, that's okay. I still would have screwed it up. That is so unique that I cannot even get close to that. The only thing I can think of is like the sandwich meat boar's head.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Boar's head, baby.
I can't buy it. It's too expensive. So I don't that's my relation to this is that I will tell people take your old boar's head. I don't want it
I mean, I think
because
that
I'm
that's
not paying it.
a modern adaptation of it, and I support that.
Perfect.
Scott Miller 5000 said, regarding traffic safety, my dad always said it's not who's right, it's who's left.
Oh, like who's in the left lane?
I am not entirely sure. I think this is kind of philosophical. It's like maybe like who's left over after like Mad Max Fury Road style incident, or maybe it
Like a
is
pile
like
up.
who's on the left lane. I don't know.
Could you imagine? It's just you and your kid driving by. Like a massive, like I'm sorry, I should not be laughing at this. Like
Let it rip.
like a massive 40 car pile up. And you just look at your kid and you're like, look, son, you can learn something from this. It's not about who's right. It's about who's left. And I'm glad we're on the other side of the road.
And the kid's probably sitting there like, what? Who's
Yeah.
right? Who's is right?
Yeah.
Nobody's right. They're dead.
Yeah. What are you talking about, Dad?
Oh my God. This one from the appropriately named handle at thick_tip.
That's what they called me in high school.
I'm sure they do, and it had to do with your basketball game. Pecker
That's
so
exactly
hard
right.
a
I just
barn.
tip it in.
That's
I
right.
just tip the ball in.
I'm sure that's what
And
it was.
I was thick. It works out.
Iceman the thick tip. I get it. Pecker so hard a barn cat couldn't scratch it.
Wow. Incredible.
This was one of multiple cat scratching penis references. I've never heard any of them.
I've never heard that. I may have heard a random one. This one's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, so first of all, I don't understand, like, regardless of how well, I guess, okay, I think I get it. I'm just like, why would the hardness of it affect the reason for the cat scratching it? But I guess it's its ability to scratch it. The second thing is, I have no idea what context you would ever use this in. Because you're not going to seduce somebody saying, baby, my pecker's so hard a barn cat couldn't scratch it.
I guarantee someone's used that as a pickup line.
Oh, I'm sure they have. I just don't think it's been successful.
I don't know, dude. You hit up some of these bars? You're probably gonna hit a barn cat.
You probably are. You know what? You're not wrong. I take back what I said. I do. This is from Danny D. Vincentis.
I read this one.
I could eat the north end of a southbound skunk.
I don't know why this makes me laugh so much.
I mean, I think I know what it's saying. It's kind of like,
oh man,
whatever, man. I mean, it's like, I'm so hungry I could eat a skunk's ass, I guess. I don't think I've ever been that hungry. I'm just gonna say it.
You've never thought about it?
I've never been that hungry where I thought I could eat a skunk's ass. No, I haven't. Yeah. Thank God that I've had enough food on my plate to not resort to such means.
Definitely me either.
It sounds like that. I'm very convinced. Really selling it.
I'm not.
Jody Murphy said, drier than a popcorn fart.
What?
I'm not sure about that one.
Popcorn fart.
Like, is that a fart that you get from eating popcorn? It's kind of funny, though.
Yesterday I was bowling, and I threw a bad shot, and I didn't even mean to say this, but I was like, that hit like a wet turd. And then I thought about it and was like, I'm sure I've heard it before, but I don't know where that came from. I've never used that term before. But now that's part of my bowling game, it turns out.
Sport will bring out high emotions in any person, so it's understandable to...
That makes sense, dude.
Yeah.
Especially an athlete like me.
Carrying on the theme of hogs and ass, Terry Dunavant said, gone up a hog's ass to eat a ham sandwich when asked where someone was.
I have heard this one.
That one's hilarious.
I have actually heard this one, and I think it was in a movie as well. Like, I think that's where I'm trying to picture it from.
I'm going to use it now. Where'd you go? I went up a hog's ass to eat a ham sandwich. Where the fuck you think I went?
Yeah, where you think?
It's kind of aggressive, though.
Honestly, if you got to pick and choose your audience on that
That's
one.
true, yeah. I shouldn't say it to my mom.
Don't say it to your mom. Don't say it to your high school bully. Don't
Ryan
say
Stoops
it
got
to...
it, yeah. No, not to him.
I don't even know who that is.
I think he might be in a hog's ass at this point. I'm not sure.
I don't know who that is.
I actually wasn't high school. He was more a middle schooler, elementary school bully.
I was going to say, I knew all the bullies at
I don't think I have
South
one in
High School.
But...
I just ripped this key off my keyboard. That's pretty cool.
Oh, that's a sign that you're nervous to be up a hog's ass. This one was from Pickles.
So far, okay.
Nervous as a cat in a room full of rocking chairs. I like that one.
That is some anxiety. Holy cow, dude.
Anxiety and so fucking accurate.
Me taking the bar exam every time.
Just lots of rocking chairs and you're just a cat with 8 tails.
Fucking just a hairless cat just scared of these rocking chairs.
Mayor Win
Merwin.
Merwin? I don't know.
I don't know.
Merwin. That's like
Merwin.
somebody with a
Merwin.
It's somebody with a dip in their mouth saying heroin. Merwin. This is a good insult.
Marilyn Manson.
Marilyn Manson. Marilyn Manson. Only God loves him, and he ain't sure. Pretty good.
That's a good one. And he ain't sure.
Whoa, Triple Loop said, as my aunt would say, slicker than a cat's ass when the road gets icy in Kentucky. Lots of ass, man. Lots of ass on these.
Lots of cats. Lots of animal ass. You've gone up a hogs, you didn't eat a skunks, and now you're slicker than a cat's.
Yeah, I mean, we're really traveling the globe here. Maybe lots of these people grew up on farms. I don't know. This last one from Tom Bomb Battle 1965. Person 1, what do you know? Person 2, I know it all. When I die, it'll be like they burned the library down. Kind of a weird flex, but I'm into it.
Yeah, that's like a weird, a weird way to be confident, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could do that and be confident. I don't think anybody would believe your confidence if you said that.
I'm going to tell you,
then you just have some smart ass to be like, well, what about the internet, asshole?
If somebody said that to me, I'd be like, yeah, that guy's probably dumb.
Yeah, no,
I'm just being honest. That's something Ryan Stoops would say. That's something Ryan Stoops.
He would, man. He would. Then he'd wait outside my friend's house with a baseball bat.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Wild kid. Really
not psychotic. Holy cow.
Like off the chain, man. He needed some guidance, probably. Anyway. Do you have any phrases? Do you have any sayings that you like before we move on?
Man. I don't know. I have one saying, and I didn't know that I even said it, but it's not even like really a saying. But anymore, somebody counted the other day. I say golly a lot, and I didn't realize it. Somebody counted. I think I said it like 23 times in a day. And it can be for good things and bad.
I think that's just a sign that you're in your 30s. You're getting old.
I know, dude. I'm getting to that point. Golly, I'm wearing cargo pants and New Balance. Like, that's where I am in life.
Cargo pants and New Balance. You know
cargo
what?
Shorts.
Oh, cargo shorts and New Balance. How high are your socks?
High enough to where I have a tan line.
Okay.
From mowing the grass.
Are we talking above the ankle knuckle thing?
Oh, dude, full on over the knuckle.
Oh, hell yeah. All right. Okay.
Yeah, dude.
I'm just envisioning you on your lawnmower with these long socks, this New Balance. You get off.
I am not going to lie, in case Taylor listens to this, she will fully post this on every social media outlet. I do not mow the grass. I got to be honest with everyone. I can't lie to the audience.
Okay.
All right. I have a guy now. I don't like mowing
pay
the
a
grass.
guy to mow your lawn.
I do.
Are they under the age of 18?
No.
You're wasting your money then.
Dude, I got a deal because I helped sign up the guy next to my house, so they gave me a break.
What kind of
It's an MLM.
Highwayman is coming to your house.
No, it's an MLM.
It's a what? An MLM?
It's an MLM. It's not really a pyramid scheme. It's me up top, and then I find 2 people, and then they find 3 people, and they all mow each other's grass.
But if you're at the top and you're not mowing the lawn, who the fuck is mowing the lawn?
You got to join, buddy, to find out.
Well, all right. It sounds like you got a good deal on that. And you know what? We got a good deal
I pay $20 a week. It's pretty good.
$20 a week. Okay, all right. Well, for less than that, you can get some cornbread hemp.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
One of our longest sponsors, cornbreadhemp.com. Check them out. You know what? They've been the founder, Jim Higdon, has been hauling ass up to DC, advocating to save the hemp and cannabis industry in this country, and we are thankful for it. And what better way to thank him than utilizing our promo code, BANJO, Banjo, for 25% off your order. John, I love the gummies. They help me sleep. They help me take the edge off after a long day. I don't really drink alcohol much anymore, and because it's terrible for you. But this is like a great alternative to that if you want to just wind down at the end of a night after all this stressful bullshit in life.
Yeah, sometimes when the guy who comes to mow my lawn shows up, I pop a couple gummies and just think about like that could be me. And it just brings such a highlight to my day that I get to enjoy, cornbread hemp right there on the couch while they're mowing my grass, and I don't have to do it. And I'm very thankful for that.
So, for the listening audience at home, that can be you. If you use our promo code, you can be sitting on your couch in
what's that song? That should be me.
I'm not familiar at all.
Oh, somebody will know it.
Info@appodlachia.com. If you know the song, send it in. Yeah, so
it's Justin Bieber.
Of course it is. Of course it is. Justin Bieber probably likes cornbread hemp.
Dude, big cornbread hemp guy.
So if you want to be like John and sit on your couch enjoying life while somebody else mows your lawn, use our promo code BANJO at checkout for cornbreadhemp.com. No, it will not get you a guy to mow your lawn, but it will actually just probably put you in a better mood with some of their stuff. So check it out.
And it probably will help you mow your own lawn because your back is gonna be thanking you. Your ankles are going to be thanking you. Those knees are going to be thanking you. I'm telling you that right now. Give it a shot.
Yeah, and not to confuse people, this is not a razor set. So mowing your lawn, you'll probably need Manscaped for that, and they're not a sponsor yet.
not a sponsor. Also, don't tell Jim. He will shut this off at any time.
Yeah, the faucet is gonna run dry as soon as he finds out. So please don't tell Jim.
Yeah, he doesn't know.
Cornbread hemp, we love them. USDA certified, all natural, flower only, full spectrum, none of the bullshit, all the good stuff. Check them out, cornbreadhemp.com. We got a great show today. We're talking about 3 big stories in the region of varying, importance. Maybe that's not the way to put it, but absurdity.
Sure.
From 1, not absurd at all. 2, to kind of absurd. 3, to very absurd.
I love this.
The first one. This is a big deal. BFD, big fucking deal. Governor Wes Moore pardons an absurd amount of weed convictions. The governor of Maryland, first term, he's been in office since 22, took a massive step towards righting off a historic wrong in the state of Maryland in our criminal justice system by issuing 175,000 pardons for cannabis possession convictions, which included convictions for possession and certain convictions for misdemeanor possession of drug paraphernalia, which I believe the paraphernalia part was like the first time that's ever been done, like a pardon like that, from what I read. This is the largest pardon for misdemeanor cannabis possession charges for any state in the country. And the inclusion of paraphernalia makes Maryland the first state to take such an action. This is huge because this is estimated to affect about 100,000 people. And that number discrepancies because some people had multiple charges. That's a lot. I mean, you're a public defender. That's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the more monumental things. I remember Obama did this during his last 2 or 3 weeks in office. He did a bunch of this and a bunch of clemency work and pushed it through, which I got to work on some of that when I worked for a law firm here, and which is pretty cool. But this is on a different level. Chuck, we normally play a quiz game where you ask me questions. I think I should get to ask you a question this time.
Do it. I'm ready.
How much do you think it costs the United States to try to think of the wording, to enforce cannabis laws?
Oh fuck.
The United
Entirely
States
too
as a whole.
much, but we talking billions? I'm gonna say $10 billion. I don't even know if that's close.
$7.6 billion
Oh
per
shit, I was
year.
kind of close. All right.
You were pretty close, dude. 3.7 billion of that going to the police, 853 million going to the courts, and 3.1 billion to corrections.
God, there you go. For you people who are defund the police lefties, legalize marijuana. That's a great way to defund them about $3 billion, it sounds like.
I'm trying to look it up because I had this figure.
I mean, that's absurd. For a country where, like, in, what, like 30 states, it's completely legal?
Yeah, I mean, that's the crazy thing about all of this is, and think about this too, Chuck. So that's the price of what it costs to enforce the laws against cannabis, right?
Right.
So imagine we legalize it fully. So that wipes out the 7.8 billion right there. That's the negative part. Now think about all of the money that comes in because of cannabis. You've then flipped a net negative into a net positive by changing one law. That's it.
It's always been a no-brainer, man. It always, and it's just these bullshit stigmas of, like, drugs are bad, dare, all that stuff. And drugs, there's a lot of drugs that are bad. Like fucking
Of course.
heroin. Don't fuck with
I see it all the time. I see it all the
Fentanyl is
time.
terrible. Weed is not
Awful.
one of those. Like, weed can kind of fuck you up for a little bit, but there's been no overdose deaths. I mean, alcohol is 100 times more dangerous than weed. And you tax it, and you fund important programs that are underfunded, like schools.
Let's play one more guessing game for you.
Okay, I'm on fire right now. So
you are, dude. So that's why I'm asking you this: what will cannabis bring into the U.S. economy in 2024?
A lot more chilled out fucking people. That's what.
Okay, money
in 2024,
money.
like money wise.
Yep.
In the states that have legalized it.
Yep.
Oh man,
like what will it bring into the United States economy?
I don't know, like 20 billion in tax revenue.
$115 billion.
Whoa, okay, I was way off. Holy shit.
That is the estimate for 2024 is that's how much money will come into the economy.
That's like Elon Musk's requested pay package. So
now think about this. 20 years ago, that money was still being spent. It just wasn't being spent legally.
Yeah,
and now
absolutely.
We're getting to the point we see the economy. First off, the economy desperately needs some type of motivational kick in the ass when it comes to influx of cash. Here's the easiest way to do it. You lower the amount of money that it takes to run police and corrections, and you raise the amount of money coming into the economy. This is a no-brainer. Like this is any politician right now who is against this should never step foot on the floor of any House, Senate, I don't care, should never be there. Because if they claim, I don't care if they're right, left, center, whatever, if they claim that they understand basic economics and they claim they want to do what's best, they should 1000% be for this.
It's ridiculous. And they always make some bullshit argument about, oh, like it makes law enforcement harder to blah blah blah. It's always some law enforcement argument because there's always like some sheriff's association that's against it, and it's bullshit arguments at the end of the day.
Terrible argument. It is a absolutely terrible argument. You know what makes police have to do more? Fentanyl, heroin,
100%,
crack, meth, all of that's your issue. No one has ever come in who I've represented. I've never seen a client come in and have these like huge issues, like these felony level cases, because they smoked a joint. Never once.
No. And guess what? There's never been a documented overdose death either. There's never been any of that shit like you have with alcohol, which is legal and socially considered to be a important part of society for lots of people and for business relationships and everything like that. It's just a stigma, and it's rooted in racism, as we've talked about before. And it ultimately becomes a racial justice issue because the majority of people incarcerated and and that have criminal convictions are black and brown people in this country. And you can trace the roots back to cannabis prohibition. It's all rooted in that. And there's a lot of people that still want it to be like that because they still want to throw black people in prison.
And people want to break it down so easily by like race or where somebody is from. Like that's a big thing. Like you hear people, oh, I moved here from, I think a good example here in West Virginia is if somebody says they moved here from Akron, the immediate thought is you must be a drug dealer.
Really?
Like, that's
why
what,
Akron?
Yeah. It has its stigma of being a drug city that runs drugs. But
interesting.
That's obviously not always true. But that is something that continues to get pushed. Detroit, same way. Cleveland, same way. And that's the kind of stuff that you face, is like you have those stigmas. I have met more people who have saved their lives by using marijuana than I have who have saved their lives by like simple, like everybody says you should like pray on it, right? Marijuana has saved more lives than simply praying on things. And I love
100%.
anyone who believes, anyone who has a faith-based like religion and does all that. I love that kind of stuff. Like if people want to have that belief, that's great. But I know more people who have saved their lives with cannabis than I have with anything else, just based off addiction or having other issues. It's insane.
100,000%, completely agree. And we've talked about this all the time. It's a no-brainer, and you're just going to have to get some new generation of leadership into some of these places for it to change. Yeah, Wes Moore, that's right. We're going to try to have him on their show because he's hopefully will be setting a precedent for other governors to follow suit.
He is one of the politicians that deserves to come on this show. Like
that's right.
We talked about it when I first came back. Like we don't always want to have politicians. Wes Moore is a guy who has proven himself to be somebody who is trying to move forward. It doesn't even matter Democrat, Republican, anything like that. Like he didn't look at what their party status was when he pardoned 175,000 people. He just did it. Like that's what he's trying to make things better. And that's the type of politicians we need. Just people who will get to work on making things better.
100%. I completely agree. One thing I wanted to mention before we leave this subject is I thought it was interesting his timing. Like, yeah, he did it on the week of Juneteenth, which makes sense. But he's a first-term governor and didn't wait till the end of his term and didn't wait till when he's coming up for re-election, which is, like you mentioned, what a lot of politicians do. They'll often wait until the very end of their term when they don't have to face the voters again. But this was a choice that he made now, and I think because it's politically popular and just because it's the right thing to do.
Golly, think about... I just said golly.
There you go.
Think about how different Maryland is now under Wes Moore versus what it was under Hogan.
A world of difference. A fucking world of difference.
Which makes you think, if you start thinking about that, it makes you think, what would Maryland look like under Hulk Hogan?
I don't know, brother. That's the question that I guess we'll have to leave to another day. I don't know. Perhaps kind of like hot dog like, I think.
He is hot dog like.
He is a hot dog man.
He is hot dog skin. Speaking
of a hot dog man, JD Vance is kind of like a hot dog, and that he's comprised of some of the lower grade meat of.
I just thought it because he was a wiener.
Yeah, he's a giant wiener. Yeah, that's a way better one.
Giant wiener.
Yeah, speaking of something that looks like a huge dick, let's talk about JD Vance. Never is gonna get old, man. Never is gonna get old.
JD Glizzy Vance.
Glizzy. Okay, this is I had never ever heard that term for a hot dog until
Really?
this past week. I was in Canada for a wedding and they had a hot dog booth and they called them glizzies. I'm like, what the fuck is a glizzy? And I thought it
Yeah,
was a
dude.
Canadian thing.
No, it's not.
Damn. Okay.
It's what the
Wow.
kids. It's what the kids say.
Well, I looked it up and it's like after a Glock 17 or something, which was also
But
confusing.
everybody uses it for hot dogs.
Sure. I mean, look, I think JD Vance probably stuffs his face with glizzies while he's lying to the American people. I don't know.
Probably.
I feel like glizzy is a generous term for him. I'm gonna stick with just dick. Wiener.
Yeah,
Wiener's
JD Wiener Vance.
Wiener Vance. Okay, so I told you back when this happened, like a week and a half ago, we had to talk about this because it pissed me off. As you know, I have been in and out of the housing market. We're currently taking a pause on buying a house while we try to decide where we want to live. But it sucks. It's terrible. And one thing that I'm super annoyed with is politicians not giving a damn about it and trying to do anything to make it not terrible. And part of the reason is because they clearly don't know what the fuck is going on. And JD Vance is a perfect example of that. So he thinks that the housing crisis and the housing market shortage and everything that's wrong with the housing market is because of illegal immigration.
Mm-hmm.
So he tweeted the other day, quote, "Not having 20 million illegal aliens who need to be housed, often at public expense, will absolutely make housing more affordable for American citizens." First of all, John, 20 million is a hilarious number.
Yeah. What a number.
The maximum that has even been calculated, and this is by Pew, was 10.5 million in this country, undocumented immigrants. So, first of all, he's got his data wrong by 200%, I think.
Yeah.
Or I don't know math. He's wrong by about 10 million. We'll say that. So that statistic is fucked, but more so than that is the broader point here. I don't think that the reason why housing is so expensive and hard to come by and interest rates are so high is because of people coming across the border illegally from Guatemala.
Yeah, probably safe to say that you are correct there, Chuck.
Thank you.
Actually, I'm gonna say really safe, because it turns out that illegal immigrants aren't the ones who are gouging U.S. consumers when it comes to interest rates that are just essentially made up. We've created some system and then said, oh, it's the system running it, when in actuality it's just greed by these companies. It's exactly what we saw in 2008, which led to the housing market crash. It's gonna be the same shit.
I take it back. I think he's right. It's just these families coming over from Honduras making all cash offers on single family homes. That's 100% what it is.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I forgot.
Come over and throw handbags of money.
I'm sick of seeing Hector and Zillow over there doing everything. It turns out it's just Zillow. They're the ones that are buying everything.
And BlackRock. And actually, interesting point.
BlackRock, yeah.
You say these investment firms are buying stuff. Well, glad you brought that up because it's patently
Tell
absurd.
me it's him. Tell me it's him.
It kind of is, sort of. It's I've established at least a tangential link. So
I love it.
While the housing crisis, as you mentioned, has many roots, it's Wall Street, subprime mortgage crisis. We're still feeling the ripple effects from 2008. Investors in private equity firms are a big, big problem. They've been buying up single family homes and renting them out to people and then taking away from the inventory that's available for, I don't know, normal people that would like to buy a house, therefore causing housing prices to go up and making it harder to get a house and then having to compete with investment firms have unlimited money, basically. So between 2012 and 2014, 4 large investor firms emerged and began gobbling up foreclosed homes. just to give you an example of like how much, like the magnitude, investors bought more than a quarter of lower priced homes in the fourth quarter of 2023. And 18.4% of U.S. single family homes that sold in the first quarter of this year, 2024, 18.4% of all single family homes sold between January and March of this year were purchased by investors. The highest share since mid 2022.
Holy cow.
And so one of the examples I like to always point to, because it's one of the worst, is Atlanta. So the Atlanta metro area, place is blowing up right now. Huge economy, you know, Hollywood of the South. 21% of metro area homes in metro Atlanta are owned by investors. 21%, over 1/5. That's 14,500 homes. Just owned by investors. Just investors, not people that should be able to buy a house.
My God.
It's fucked, right?
This is again what you know, and this is, and rightfully so. I have noticed an uptick in cities who have banned like Airbnbs. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah. Ban short-term rentals. Usually it's referred to as short-term rentals.
Sure. Yeah. And I can't blame these cities for doing that, because this is exactly the purpose of why these things are being bought. They're either being bought low to sell high, or they're being bought to become short-term lease properties, which, if you don't know this, that devalues the homes near it, for one, because there's a whole breakdown of it that I just read. But essentially, it creates a business, and people don't want to live next to businesses. And once they find out, it drives it down.
And you lose the character of the neighborhood.
That's the thing, is you start to have these issues. And then the other turnaround too is like these short-term leases. The houses tend to have problems. Like they don't vet the people who are actually coming. They just put them in there, you know, all of those things. So I can't blame these cities for doing that. I think and hope that that's going to be helpful for them being able to keep properties within the community's reach. And I don't know how you would do it. You probably can't. It would probably just be too much of a commerce issue, but I wish you could figure out a way to ban these hedge fund and private equity companies from buying homes.
It's something that there would be legal challenges to, but I'm sure there's a way to at least limit their ability to, whether it's through zoning or what have you, because it's a huge problem.
Yeah, I mean, that's you're right. Yep.
Well, and I sat there thinking, why would JD Vance ignore such a layup? Because nobody likes BlackRock. Your constituents really care about private equity. But then I remembered that JD Vance is a venture capitalist. He's co-founder and partner of Narya Capital, which is an early stage venture capital firm. Now, they haven't, from what I found, invested in directly like real estate acquisition companies, but they have invested in two companies that I think have certainly played a role in some of the housing market issues. ValueBase and AcreTrader. ValueBase provides data and tools for property appraisals that can be utilized by private companies and the government as well. And AcreTrader is a real estate investment company specializing in investing in farmland, where they claim that like it's helping, the little guy like farmers, but I'm highly skeptical. But either way, JD Vance has a bunch of friends in the private equity industry, and so it's no surprise why he wouldn't fix his sights on that and rather targets the easy dog whistle for the right, which is illegal immigration.
Did you also notice, I just looked this up, that he's also on the Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs Committee?
Of course he is. Of course.
Isn't that something, huh?
I think that's something. And in a place where, like, in places like Lima and Cleveland and Columbus, you have housing crises, you have housing shortages, you have unaffordable rent, unaffordable housing prices. This guy thinks it's because of a handful of undocumented immigrants hopping the border, probably not even coming to fucking Ohio. God
It,
damn.
it's just so ridiculous, man. Like the
We
fact
knew
this
he
guy
was.
won.
Yeah,
Ugh.
I can believe it, but like I can't believe it. I mean, we called it. We called it. So
Oh God, yeah, we knew that's. But the other thing that you should know, Chuck, is that his fourth highest industry in contributions is real estate.
oh my god, I'm so surprised.
For his, it goes. It's actually number 3 when we come to just industries. Securities and investments at 776, Republican slash conservative at 698, and real estate at 675.
Look, he spent a lot of time in San Francisco working in private equity, making buddies with all the people that are throwing money at the shit because they want to make a quick buck. He spent a lot of time in DC schmoozing up with lobbyists, probably real estate lobbyists, and he's friends with the like cretins like Peter Thiel. This is no surprise at all. And you can, I mean, if we did more digging, we could easily start drawing even thicker lines to this shit. But it's just really pathetic that, we have people who could actually be doing things to be making a difference, to help first time home buyers, to help people realize the American dream of owning their own home. But instead, they're sitting there jerking themselves off, blaming it on brown people hopping the border.
This
It's
guy,
infuriating.
he is just a walking, talking, at this point, pretty much just full blatant racist asshole.
Oh yeah, I think that was pretty clear by his campaign. Oh my
Golly,
god.
dude, that's just and he is at a point now where he's just leaning. Remember when he first ran, and we even talked about it. Like he was kind of weighing back and forth, like what he would, how far he'd go into Trump versus how far he wouldn't. And at one
Yeah,
point, didn't
he
he even
pussyfooted a
denounce?
little bit.
He denounced Trump before that, or a few years before that.
Before he announced, he certainly did. He was like, and he had actually called and talked to Republican consultants, Mike Murphy being one of them, asking them about like the prospects of running as an anti-Trump Republican.
That's right. So like he is a wish.com version of Mitt Romney.
I feel like
He's a
that's
flip.
very generous, though.
Well, the reason is he's a flip flopper, but he's like flip flops that would like fall apart in a second.
Okay.
At least Mitt Romney was like a decent pair of like Birkenstocks. Like he was going to flip flop back and forth, but you knew it would last.
God, he really is Birkenstocks, Mitt Romney.
You're welcome.
Very accurate. Okay.
Yep, that was deep.
100. That's depths of the ocean there, man. Yeah. JD Vance is kind of like a washed up pair of Old Navy flip flops that you buy because you really needed a pair and you're desperate. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I hate this guy. We can move on.
Dude, he's awful. He's awful, and we're at a point now where unless and I'm going to be honest with everybody too. I'm going to be brutally honest when it comes to 2024 elections. Like if we end up talking about races, I'm going to be brutally honest because I feel like last time we talked about it was a presidential cycle too. We were kind of like, at least I was kind of like, oh, it'll be close or what? No, for now on, I'm telling the full on blown truth. And so I want somebody at some point to have a real campaign against JD Vance.
Please,
a real
God.
one. A
please.
real one. Like, not. Oh,
you got a beef today?
Yeah, I got one.
Lay it on me.
This is actually a good beef. So first off, I just want to point out we got this is incredible. We now have 2 Beef with Big John songs.
Oh my God.
I don't know if you saw, there is a SoundCloud song now called Beef with Big John, and it is about this, the show. And it is like, what is it, EDM? Is that what it's called? Electronic dance music?
That sounds correct, and I will post. I will put it in this show so that you all can hear it.
Yes, but that doesn't mean that we're moving away from our current beautiful song. But hold on, let me just point this. I got to give credit where credit is due.
Mr. Big Plays.
That's our original song.
No, Mr. Awful is the original. Mr. Big Plays is this
okay,
one.
sorry. I'm just not used to these artists being so formal.
Yeah, I know, right?
And so anyway, wanted to point that out. But here's a good thing. Something that we don't quite talk about enough, just anywhere, are Appalachians who have made it big, who don't forget about the region. And there's one person specifically, and this is our post West Virginia Day episode, Jennifer Garner.
I knew you were going to say Jagar. I knew it.
Dude, so she comes back into West Virginia. She posts this TikTok, obviously how popular she is. It gets millions of views.
Banger. Absolute banger.
And she's not getting any money for this, in terms of these companies paying her. But she goes to the Capital Market, shouts them out, says, "Capital Market, this place has the greatest, my mom thinks that they have the best hot dogs." She didn't say glizzies, but I'll forgive her for that.
Yeah.
Then she goes to Taylor Books in Charleston.
Hell yeah, great
signs
place.
signs a copy of her book and leaves it. So if you're looking for her book, maybe you can get a signed one real quick. And it's just, she is constantly shouting out West Virginia, like pushing for people to remember she's from here, when that is almost that is almost taboo to do in Hollywood. And especially when you're at her level, where, I mean, at one time she was, paid wise, probably a top 10 actress.
100%. Yeah, I mean, she's
maybe top 5,
and she'd be top billing in anything she would. I don't know.
Oh, she's the star of everything that she's in.
100%. Yeah.
Also, just coming on screen as your dog.
Yeah, I see. She's who knows why? Whatever. What's up, big dog?
All right. What's up, big dog? I just think that more people like her. Obviously, she gets recognition. She's, a huge celebrity. But, like, people like her don't come around enough. And she doesn't get credit enough for continuing to... I mean, she still comes back to Charleston all the time, has a house there, her parents, all of that kind of stuff. She's never left West Virginia behind. And I find that to be very refreshing from someone like her.
It's very endearing, and she makes herself visible there, and that's I think such an important part about it. She's arguably one of the most, if not the most successful West Virginian, period. Like, her and Brad Paisley, I think, are fighting for that title.
Paisley's up there.
Yeah. Now somebody's gonna light me up for somebody I probably forgot, but she wears it.
Well, I mean, there's probably a couple.
Yeah, she wears it so proudly on her sleeve everywhere she goes, and shows people the beauty of it. But also, I think that extra step of, like, tagging all those local businesses there was such a cool touch. And man, I have endless amounts of respect for her. And if you're to actually ask me, I've been thinking about this a lot. She's honestly my dream guest. Like, truthfully.
Oh, very fair. I'm going to make a TikTok about her here soon, because I feel like I really want to stitch that video that she did. But, like, this entire video is just, one of those... She didn't have to do it. She could have ignored West Virginia, and she doesn't do that. And there's so many people from this state. Like, think about... No, I'm not going to call anybody out. But think about the people who are from not just West Virginia, but Appalachia in general, who haven't mentioned where they're from in 20 years.
Absolutely.
And that's okay. Like, if people want to make that decision, and maybe it's selfish of me to be like, you should acknowledge that, or maybe they had a bad time here. I don't know. But I just think it's important when you see a region that has been historically held back, and you're one of the people that makes it out, that uplifting, like pulling people with you, I think is always like is a good thing to do. Maybe just based on karma. I don't know.
I think it's just good. I think it's good because you can show other people from there that it's possible to make it big, and that you can you can make an actual difference. Like she makes a meaningful difference in Appalachia and West Virginia, 100%.
Think about little kids from Appalachia who see someone like, they grow up in a shitty environment, right?
Yeah.
Maybe their parents have drug issues or, whatever. Obviously Jennifer was blessed. She had, some two good parents, yada, yada, yada. But they see someone like her and find out where she's from, and they're like, I could do this. Like I could make it. If Jennifer could do it, I can get there. She's, and she still is coming back to Charleston, and she meets all these kids. Like, it's not like she just doesn't show up. Like, I've seen her go to schools in Charleston and do a bunch of activities. That's important for kids to see that. I didn't get that when I was like a little kid. I think I can't name a single famous person or a huge person that came to my school and was like, hey, I'm from here, and I did this and you can too, type deal.
Bimbo Coles.
Who?
Bimbo Coles. He was like a basketball player that ran like a summer camp or something, right?
No idea.
He was from Covington, Virginia.
Covington, Virginia.
He played in the NBA, and he ran like a basketball summer camp in West Virginia. I don't know. Anyway, not important. No, you're right.
It's
you're
refreshing to
right.
have that. Yeah,
it absolutely is, and she's welcome on this show anytime.
For sure, we need her. We need her on here. I'd love to have a conversation with her. I think she's one of the most interesting people. Like she just is very. She's very interesting. She farms. She does so much stuff.
She's an investor in Angel City FC. Yeah.
Yeah, and not an investor in JD Vance.
Thank God.
So,
bless her. We love Jagar. It's our Jagar podcast. Well, that was a wholesome and uplifting beef, John.
Yeah, I try.
I know you do. Well, thank you all for listening to this show. We will be back next week for Appodlachia. Check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/Appodlachia. Check out all of our social medias, all that other stuff. Follow us and leave us a review if you're on one of the listening things that you listen to, like Spotify, Apple, all that shit. And we love you, and we'll talk to you next week. That was a beefy episode.